Hi everyone, I'm Rúben, this is Mick, and welcome to this week's episode of Photomode Unplugged. How are you doing, Mick?
I'm doing well. I'm just gonna say we need to give the audience what they want this week.
What does the audience want?
You know, you're just in denial about this, but they want the jokes.
Oh, you want to start with that?
I think we should.
are losing the audience right at the start.
No, we're losing the audience because the episodes are too long. So we'll go straight into it. We're gonna bring out the big guns at the start. Yeah, it's just one. We'll just do one.
Okay.
Okay, so I have one. Are you ready?
No.
So, did you hear the one about the guy who lost his ear, but he went in to a surgeon and he said, "Don't worry, we've got a new technique, but it does mean that we've got to put on a pig's ear for you." He said, "A pig's ear?" I said, "Yeah, don't worry, we'll make it look normal and it'll be fine." So he said, "Okay, it's better than having no ear." So he went in and he had it all done. So he went back for his checkup. He says, "Okay, so how's it going?" He said, "Yeah, it's not too bad." He says, so can you hear anything now?" He went, "Just a bit of crackling."
So this was this week's episode. No.
You cannot deny that that's a good one. That's
No.
Now you know why he sent you that picture earlier.
You sent me the picture and I asked you, is this for a joke?
Yeah, well, I wasn't going to give it away at that point because otherwise you'd preempt it.
I preempted. That's why I didn't find it funny, because you lied to me.
Ridiculous. Oh, you feel betrayed now.
Yeah. Oh, in more ways than one. Than this one. But today we are here to talk about a very serious topic.
Yes.
Theft.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And that joke was borrowed. I haven't stolen that joke. That's just a borrowed one.
Did you warn the creator of that joke that you would borrow it?
I'm afraid not.
Then this week's topic is very much for people like you that use other people's content without their permission on social media.
I told it differently though. It was an interpretation of the joke.
Okay, so everything is a remix. If you remix it enough,
30%.
you are... Okay. So, Mick, what should we do what's our first approach when we find out that someone stole our photos and used them as their own?
I guess first, maybe we just need to clarify why the photos belong to you in the first place.
Do they belong to me in the first place?
Yes, they do. So they do, as long as it's an original shot. So that's why cutscenes do not count as photography, because that's a copy of an original composition. But anything that you've created yourself, so free composition with a mobile camera, etc., and I don't just mean changing the colour. Not a cutscene in black and white, that's not good enough. Any original composition is a derivative of... So what we're working with here is game. The game itself is a piece of art, essentially.
Yeah.
And the Photomode captures are a derivative piece of art, which command their own copyright. So copyright doesn't mean that you've got the rights to sell it or that you can give anyone else the rights to sell it. It just means that you've got the right to make copies of it, literally in the name, copyright. So you've got the right to copy and to distribute it. So you can allow others to do so by giving permission the use of the copyright, or if you posted something with like freedom of rights, like the commons, I can't remember what it's called now, but that just automatically allows freedom, totally free use of it. In terms of the way we're usually posting them, you're not giving that, so they're posted as your own personal content with copyright held by you. So if someone does share it without credit, that's the key. isn't it? So it's not like a case of retweeting, it doesn't count. That's fine because that keeps the ownership.
If they let's say that they just download the picture, post it, and they said photo by XYZ, that's okay?
Yeah, because that's credited. So that's just still referring the ownership back to whose it is. So
what if they only tag you? They don't say photo by, they just tag you in the picture.
That's a little bit ambiguous, isn't it? That's kind of a quirk of Twitter or Instagram. The Instagram one's even less visible because it doesn't.
You
even
have to
show
click
up.
on the picture.
You can if you're the only one tagged. Let's say on Twitter because it puts the name underneath. If you're the only tag, I guess that might be acceptable as a byline because that's what you would see in print. For example, you'd see the picture in a magazine and a name underneath it. Sometimes it will say photographed by. Sometimes it would just a name.
That's a great point, that it looks like a magazine.
Yeah, it's actually quite a clean approach.
Yeah.
Whether everybody interprets it as such, I'm not sure. Given the way social media works, they probably don't. So they would just see the account and the picture and not really read.
And if someone is sharing your content, you expect your account to gain something from that share because they are basically using your work. So I get why some people might not like that way of sharing content.
Absolutely. I mean, I've always had a bit of a in-between approach to that, and as long as it's credited, then I'm happy with it. And to be honest, I think that you're better off getting some exposure than none at all. Even if it's not about the numbers, because what you ultimately want is for it to be seen. And like for example, if it is in print, everybody would appreciate having their picture printed in a magazine, but you can't click on it. It doesn't give you any numbers back.
Yeah.
But yet it's there, it's visible, and it's credited, and it's for people to look at, appreciate that, and they can see. And it's up to them then whether they go to find out more about the person who created it. So I do think that that's a little bit of a social media phenomenon in itself, that you expect to get the credit by virtue of likes and follows and whatnot. So yes, I understand it, but no, I don't think that should be the deciding factor, because then there's the whole debate between a retweet versus a quote.
Oof. But I can tell you, like, if you are only looking at numbers, a retweet is so much better than a quote. I prefer to be quote retweeted because it means the person didn't just click on a button.
Yeah, they've said something about it.
That's why I like Insomniac's way of sharing the content so much, because they actually put thought into sharing it. It's not just a click. Being shared by a big account is, especially a developer, a studio, is already very cool. To be quote retweeted, to have that person actually say something about, even if it's just emojis, it means that they looked at the picture, they read what you said about the picture. It wasn't just, oh, you randomly popped up and they just click on a button.
And you have to imagine that they get tagged in a lot of pictures as well. So, to even work through the noise is challenging enough. But anyway, back to what you originally asked was, what do you do about someone stealing the work, essentially? So that would be a case of them reposting it with no credit, or even directly claiming that it's their own, which it does happen.
Oh, we will get to that later on, but we have some funny stories about that.
So first thing, I guess, is to actually contact them. Is not go overboard. You give them a chance. So I would I have sometimes not done this, but give them the benefit of the doubt and at least reply to it and say something like, oh, nice shot, where have you got it from? Or, I like that you enjoyed this enough to claim it as your own, but do you think you might want to credit it? sometimes
I love that
say no.
you give them the chance to block you. Congratulations. That's what they will do.
But that's fine, because then they won't get any more pictures from you.
Oh, if they block you, they can just see go to your profile, see it, and that's it. And you actually have a website, so they can go to your website and download the pictures. It happened to me that they have me blocked on Instagram and on Twitter, but they go on my Flickr to download the pictures. So, yeah.
But this is the thing. The ones who want to do it are going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I sort of give them a chance, because sometimes they may actually say, I didn't know who it was, and I'll now either remove it and repost it.
It happens sometimes. I had some instances on people like putting credit Pinterest or credit Google Images. Yeah. So if they have that on there, or if I scroll by their profile and I see that they credit other artists, then my first approach is always to reach out to them.
That's a good measure, actually, because you can kind of get an idea from the type of account that it is, can't you? You scroll down and it's all not stolen picture. Work. Yeah, you think, okay. God of War is massive for that, isn't it? Especially, and now I don't know what you think, but in my experience, Instagram is a lot worse for stolen content than any other platform,
because it's easier. I think it's easier to find, because on your feed you don't get just the posts, you get the replies from the people that you are following. So for instance, you see my replies to someone on your feed. On Instagram, you just see the picture, the pictures of people that you're following. You are not seeing their comments. You're not seeing anything. So the chances are that you won't see the accounts as much. So you won't see like, Dotpan replied to this post. Let me see this post. Wait, this is my picture. On Twitter, you get that. I actually found one. I have a funny story about one later on that happened like that. I see someone replying to, nice pictures of Spider-Man. And then I open and, they are really nice. They're mine. So that on Twitter is much easier to find, because to track it because of that. On Instagram, not so much. And I still think Instagram is more popular than...
I think it's popular with a different...
image sharing. Yeah, image sharing.
Yeah, exactly. It's popular with that sort of just visual content and quickly building an account that gets likes, or I know they cut the numbers now, haven't they, for the likes, but I guess there's still a way to leverage a big account. So it's weird. I don't really know the motivation to spend your time stealing other people's stuff, and it's not just virtual photography this happens for.
No, they are. I'm more connected with. I research more about stolen content from God of War because, reasons. But even marketing, even like they share like the artwork from God of War Ragnarok like 18 times to see if one of the posts blows up. They end up blowing up, and then let's go from there. And that happens quite often, like promotional shots from other games, and they build their whole account around that.
If they had sense, they'd try and get access to the media portals, and then you could use all of the press assets. I've just given them an idea. But,
no, I my first instance, and that's what I advise most people to do, is just find that social media support and find the DMCA takedown. So that's my first thing. If I scroll past that account, Twitter, Instagram, whatever, if I go and I don't see them crediting any other artist, I don't even approach them. If they do, I approach them. I say, "Oh, can you please? That photo is mine. I understand that you saw it on Pinterest, on Google Images. Let's find a middle point and just put my name on it, even if it's an old picture that I know most people that liked it, that engage with it, will never see my name in it. I won't take down that picture. If it's a whole profile of stolen pictures, I tend to do two things. I go and I do the takedown on the social media support, and then I usually share it on my Insta stories to make sure that some of my followers, I have
check for theirs as well.
Check for theirs, and go and leave comments saying you stole this picture. I do that. I'm okay with Danny always goes. Always spams every single shot that they stole it. This is not yours. This is not yours. I actually found out this week that one of my coworkers does that. We never spoke about it. Never spoke about it. And I had an instance happening this week, and they say this guy also DM'd me, and I'm like, oh, this is a person from my work. It was pretty cool.
You work in social media, so you should, I guess. But whether it's the first step or not, so it's an optional. We're going to say it's optional to give people the chance.
The thing is, if they block you, most social media asks for the link. So if you give the opportunity for them to block you,
that's true.
At least save the link. Because you will need it to report the post.
Or have a second secret account that you can still view things from.
Oh, is that possible?
It's obviously possible.
Oh, I second account? I don't have that.
Have you not?
No, and I have several.
Do you just spend your day liking your own work?
That's how I get. That's how I got to 15K.
Click farm. But regardless, to be honest, if I give them the chance, invariably that's going straight to the copyright report next anyway, within some minutes, probably. You sort of make the point of letting them know. So kind of every platform should have this. I guess we'll put some of the links in the description for Instagram and Twitter, Etsy. We'll come to that. That's in my story.
Displate. There is a
Displate's diabolical. They openly just don't get.
I don't blame Displate. I blame their way of doing business, but their products have quality. That's the thing.
Absolutely.
I have two Displates. The way that they allow people to submit, if I want a print for me, it's automatically on the store.
But that's the key. They can quite happily sell you a print of any picture you submit, and someone could submit a picture they don't own and they're paying for it to be printed. But what they do is then host that on the front page and sell more prints. They're not allowed to do that. So the reporting thing that we're talking about anyway, so that each one has got a copyright infringement claim form. They're probably always called something different, but basically you submit to the site and say this post is infringing on my copyright, and then you've got to go through. It can be quite lengthy, can't it? The explanation. You've got to essentially prove what it is that you're claiming copyright against, which is usually just simply a link to the tweet or the Instagram post in question, and then give evidence as to why you own it. So that can just be a predated tweet. So there's the tweet, there's the same picture on mine, and the date is earlier. But you will, especially in this space, you will probably find that you've got to give some further explanation as to why you own that content.
What is virtual photography? Why you taking the picture makes the copyright belong to you. I actually, and I said this to you, I use your article. You have a very cool article about copyright and
Link in the description.
yeah.
Like and subscribe on the way.
Yeah, on the way, like and subscribe. Don't forget about liking and subscribe.
Oh, and sign up for my newsletter.
Oh, it's there. But yeah, I usually just copy and paste a lot of your, and it works.
Okay, so I mean, so how many times have you had it come back saying no?
Every time.
Yeah.
And then you insist and you insist and you insist, and then you get it approved.
So the final part of that, how many times have you completely failed to have a post pulled?
2 times.
Oh, have you? I've never had one fail totally.
Because one of them had, I believe, enough of edit to be considered.
Okay, so it was altered. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's the other thing. They have they put their watermark. That's the first.
That's nothing.
That's the first thing that I just, they added their watermark. It was quite big, so it could be like a poster or something. And then it was a colored shot, and they put it on black and white.
Okay.
So.
Oh, well, there you go. That's original. But the thing is, I mean, it's not worth losing sleep over because it's not harming you. But yeah, you definitely should protect your copyright. So you certainly should go and report it to these things. And don't just accept the first one that says, we can't see enough evidence as to why you own this content. Invariably, that's just going to someone who looks at it. Yeah, it's the same picture, but they're pictures of a game. You don't own the game, so tell me some more. What are you shaking your head at?
So you mentioned in this episode that I work on social media.
Yeah.
I actually don't work directly on. It's one of my tasks, but I work in customer support. Basically, that's in a nutshell is customer support, and from the industry, social media industry, what I know is most of the social media that we use don't have a person in the customer support. They have bots, and that first reply is from a bot. They look at both of them. They look at the description of your form, and they say, okay, let's try to make this go away with a mass replier. That's most of my work, doing the mass repliers. It will change, but now it's doing the mass repliers. The second time that you talk, you might then reach out to a person, because those teams really are tiny for the volume that the social media have. Like Twitter, Instagram have millions of accounts. For that traffic, you will guess, oh, they have like a fleet of no, they have so fewer people that you could imagine. It's crazy. Yeah. Most of them are, even Instagram. A few years ago, I had a problem with Instagram, so I went and tried to reach out their customer support, and I couldn't. I just couldn't. And I found several articles saying that Meta was, back then Facebook was going to bot only support. They are doing that transition.
Yeah, it's like the little chatbot things that you get on websites, and I hate them. You just like something else, as many times as you can click it just to get through to someone. Yeah. So yeah, whether it is that or that probably is. I do believe you. I'm not doubting it.
Yeah.
But even if you're at someone who still rejects it, don't be deterred.
No, try and try again and try every time.
You do own the copyright to that image, and this is not taken down because you own the IP entirely. You don't need to. You own the copyright. The image is unique, and the right to produce copies of it stays with you. So when it's successful, they remove the post, in the offending post, pretty quickly actually. When they do accept it goes straight away.
I never went into an instance that they emailed me back, we removed the post, and the post wasn't removed already. It was like, it's crazy fast. The other thing is, the last few times that I got to have those posts removed, the last reply that I got was, oh, we couldn't comprove that you are, so tough luck. And I always reply, what more can I give you? I gave you, and then I give a in detail description of our conversation, and the reply next to that is, oh, we removed the post.
Yeah, it's like they're testing it to make sure it's you're not just trying to pull someone's work for the sake of it being popular or anything like that. But the bit, so you mentioned the blog post. The bit that I always pull out of that is the quote of the Berne Convention. It's the same one. So if you look through, you go to the guide. It's, I can't remember what I called it now, but copyright ownership in virtual photography, I think it's called. And it goes through.
I don't go to your website. I go Ford Focus copyright, and
I'm glad that comes up. Good, thanks for that. That helps my search algorithms. So it goes through in a lot of the kind of legal terms, but in an approachable way. But the Berne Convention is an internationally recognized thing on broad copyright, and there's a specific line that I've pulled out about for photography and works that are analogous to photography, so it's totally covered. And once you throw something official to them like that, that's usually when they back down. The last one that I had that was kind of arguing it, and they sent me a copyright link and went, maybe you could read more about copyright and intellectual property here. And I said, don't worry, I've already done it. And then gave them more information, and then sure enough, it got removed. So stand by your guns, be convicted to it, and don't let them just sort of push you away, because you should have it removed. Okay, why should you have it removed? Is just because it's your work, and if you start to let that slip, then you let people start to use it commercially, and that's the next level. You might think, what? They're only posting it on thing.
Etsy and Displate are great examples of people making money out of your work.
Yeah.
And you don't get paid for that. A few years ago on Displate, that's the first time that I actually heard of Displate. It was, I think, your Spoony Bard, Gary, and Keitana's working there, and one of Kate's photos has been like purchased several times. People were making money out of that.
By law, the owner, now this is where it becomes difficult with virtual photography, because the owner of let's say it was just a normal painting or something, the owner of the painting would then be able, in theory, to put in a claim for royalties on all of those earnings. It now becomes more complicated, because obviously you've got the publishers owning the IP that's in the image. We own the copyright to the image, but not the IP, which is why you can't sell it directly anyway, which is what the story that I've got is all about.
Ooh.
Should we do the story? Do you want the story now?
No.
Okay.
Okay. Let's save the story for the end.
Okay, then. Fine.
I'm trying to see if you stay until the end. I want you all to stay till the end, so we are saving the stories. Sorry about that.
There's your carrot. Yeah. But you should be trying to prevent things being leveraged and used and sold that's just benefiting someone else and not you, and also not the creators of the art that is in your shot as well. So in theory, a game publisher could come and put a stop to anybody selling pictures of their game, because let's say it's a picture of Aloy. You don't own Aloy, you own the copyright to the picture of Aloy, your picture, but you don't own Aloy, so you can't sell the character. So they could come and stop you doing it. In real terms, if you're selling 1, 2, 5 pictures, it's not worth it for them to track you down. If you start earning 10, 20,000, that's what gets into the realms of an actual licensing partnership. If you wanted to strike up a licensing partnership and say, can I sell these pictures? It's 5 figures before you even start the conversation. You know, that's the ballpark to be working at.
Ooh.
So it's not worth it for them to come and put a clamp on it. But you as an individual totally should. And actually YouTube is another bad one for it, because people regularly monetize YouTube channels, and they will one to look out for is just using a shot as a thumbnail. So I've had this with the Tsushima shot, and they use that. It's not even in the video anywhere, but they're using it as the click attraction to get, and then they're monetizing the video. So I actually, if people ask whether they can use my shot, and I say, where's it for? And if it's for a YouTube channel, I say no.
Really?
Yeah. Because
I had several people asking me about Ragnarok recently, and I said yes.
Just put if they're monetizing it, are they going to give you a share for that? Are they going to? If they're monetizing it, they should buy the content that they're using to drive their monetization. Otherwise, no.
I get that stance. I really do, but I usually just say, credit me in the description. Say thumbnail by .pun and the link to my Twitter, and that's fine by me. Even with the monetization, I'm fine with it.
Fair enough. It's a matter of opinion, really. It's a bit of a grey area, isn't it? But
I agree with you. They should be buying that, but
it's, you know, it's like,
it's one of those things that I don't think it's worth. Even
maybe. Well,
having that
if
conversation.
It's just a yes or a no, it's not worth any extra effort, because you're just saying nah. And they will be wary. YouTube's quite strict on copyright strikes. So if you do submit one through YouTube and they get that content pulled, that affects their channel quite a lot. So don't do it maliciously on YouTube. But if someone, especially if you've said no and they use it anyway, get it pulled. And they will suffer. But they shouldn't have done it. You know, they've got to respect the artist. And as soon as you start being a throwaway artist, it's the same as when people go to people who draw and they just expect them to just do it for nothing. Why? Why the hell should they? No.
I not as many with my new profile pictures, but I had quite a few asking me about my other one, the one with white background, asking me who did it. Mm-hmm. And I said it, how much it was, and then you paid for that?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
yeah.
Yes, it's his work, so I paid for.
Why should they do the time for free?
Yeah. What can we do to prevent getting our work stolen? Watermarks is the first thing that comes to mind. The first time that my content was stolen, I used watermarks. But then I didn't like how it looked, and then I just...
So I never watermark. There's 2 ways to do it. People either hide a watermark somewhere, because then they think that people won't notice it, or there's other ones that do it as a more stylized one that actually
like
adds... Yeah, exactly. And the more stylized ones, as long as they're not intrusive, I don't mind. I prefer that approach. The ones that are hidden... Now, I guess the motivation to do it is that you think that can be used to prove that it's yours. It might help, but it's not necessary to prove that you own. Because a predated post elsewhere is totally enough. It doesn't matter about it having the watermark in it. The other way it might help is that other people might see it and tell you. So I guess that's an advantage of helping you find them.
But
that
if
will happen.
Your work is recognizable enough,
you get that anyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the reason I don't do them is, one, it adds to the workflow, and it's something that I just don't want to have to do. And two,
that's why I dropped it.
It detracts from the look of the shot, because you invariably, unless it's so invisible that it's not noticed anyway. But
I like detectives. Has 2 watermarks that it's quite funny. They have the big one that people will remove it just to steal and then she puts a really tiny one in there. It's somewhere very hidden that you can only see if you really zoom in.
So they won't notice that it's there. And because that's the other thing. If people, does it deter people from stealing it? No, I don't think it does. No. They're going to steal it anyway. It's quite easy to remove them. If they're in the corner, you can just crop it for a start. But even if it's across the picture, which ruins the picture, but even if it's somewhere visible, you can just clone it out. You can just heal it, whatever. And
that's the thing. People that steal content are very lazy to create their own content. But they are like professional athletes when it comes to hiding that they stole the content. They will go through every single thing, like they will learn Photoshop and how to heal that part just to remove, and by the time that they did that in a way that it's not noticeable, they could have taken a screenshot.
They just do it themselves. So is it necessary to watermark? No. Can it help? Yeah. Should you do it? That's entirely up to you. That's a choice. You might, if it makes you feel more comfortable that it's there, then do it. If you do it because you prefer having it there as a style, then absolutely fair enough. But don't feel that you have to. It doesn't mean that if you don't put your name on it, you can't claim the protection. Because you can. You definitely can.
Yeah, I like the stylized ones. Some of them are really cool to see. Like even if it's just the logo instead of the name of the person, have just a logo. I like to see it. If it's if it fits, like when you put the God of War logo on your pictures, or the Uncharted or whatever, the game that you're playing, if it fits like that, I'm always like, good for you. You put the work on creating a good one.
Yeah, consideration for it. I quite like ones that sort of have a logo and a frame, because that feels like it's more framing the whole thing and branding it rather than just claiming it, if you will. So it's interesting. It's something I don't do, and like I say, it's mostly for the time and the fact that it's not needed, so it's not necessary in my workflow.
Is there anything else that you can do, that we can do to prevent it?
Prevent it?
Yeah, like even I don't know if you ever installed Pinterest on your phone.
Pinterest it basically encourages the stealing of work, because that's the whole point of it, is see something, pin it to another board, and it just propagates like that without credit. The only thing you can ultimately do is not share it in the first place. And if it's a commercial image, you see them with such horrible watermarks that they make the image unviable to use, or they share it in such low resolution. Those tactics work, but they're obviously at the detriment to the image. So if you want to share the shot with people who appreciate the image for what it is, then you're kind of defeating the object, aren't you? So I upload at the highest resolution I can with no watermark, and again,
hope for the best.
Well, because it's not as though if they take it and post it, it takes mine away or detracts from it. I don't lose my own version of it. And actually,
what gets me is when it's an account that is so much bigger than mine, like, and they get dozens of thousands of likes and interactions with that post that I work with.
But that makes it even more satisfying to take it down.
Yeah, when you can take it down, that's definitely,
Yeah.
So, do you want to start with your story
My story.
about? Yeah.
Okay. So this. So what happened was, now this was someone who draws, sort of game characters, and people can commission them to draw a piece of work for them. And it was actually my cousin and his partner, and she got 2 of my God of War pictures drawn for him for I think it was his birthday as a frame, to have it on the wall. And so they asked for it to be done and for it to be as a one-off, like fine. But they obviously asked me, do I mind letting this person draw my shots? I was like, no, it's no problem. It's used as the source material. They're doing it for you. That's absolutely fine. So that all went as normal. Then the artist obviously wanted to share lots of pictures of their work. Again, absolutely fine. But at no point did they mention where the source image, where the reference image had come from. They never even showed it. They just made out like, I'm just drawing this amazing picture of this character. And everyone's like, oh my God.
Yeah, makes it seem like they are the ones like composing the drawing. Yeah.
Exactly. And they even said, I've had such an amazing response from this. I've not done this game before, and I've never had so much attention from it. It's like, yeah, that's because of the content in the picture, which isn't yours. Yours is a copy, and I don't care. I'm not saying that the drawing isn't good. The drawing's amazing. It's a magnificent talent, but it's still a copy. Just the same as if I took a picture of a picture, or if I photocopied it, it's a copy. If you trace it, whatever, it's a like for like reproduction. And all I was saying was, can you just credit the reference image? All right, yeah, I'm really sorry. So the next one they did. That's fine. A few weeks later, and I got this via my cousin. He's like, they're selling copies of that on Etsy. So they're selling further prints. Not redrawings, prints. So what they'd done is scanned in the one that they'd drawn for my cousin, and then selling prints of it. So I got in touch again. I was like, look, neither of us are allowed to sell this image because of the complexity of the IP involved. So can you please not put them up for sale on there? Because 1, I've not given you permission for the copy of that shot, and 2, I'm not comfortable with us selling the IP anyway. So they were like, all right, yeah, well, I won't do it then, but because I got so many people asking, I was going to. But what they did do was just wait a couple of weeks and then do it anyway.
Ooh.
But get this, I was unsure. Total coincidence. But I was like, should I get this pulled? I think I'm going to do. And I went and looked at their post, their account, and I can't remember if it was the Twitter or Instagram account. And ironically enough, they were complaining that someone had had a tattoo done of one of their drawings without asking for permission, and properly like going at them, saying, you've not allowed to do this. You shouldn't have my work. I did that. I spent my time doing that on a tattoo, and they're saying you wanted to get it removed or something. And I thought, you know what? The hypocrisy of it. So I immediately went onto Etsy, submitted the copyright claim, had it pulled. They then unfollowed me, refollowed me to make a notification, and then blocked me. And I was like, wow. So I just the whole karma of them getting that while complaining about someone having a tattoo of their drawing was just, like, you should ask for permission, shouldn't you? But guess what? You didn't. So
I don't have anything that crazy.
Oh, you should have gone first.
That seems like just the fact that they pulled the post out, you warned them not to make money out of it. They pulled it out, wait a few weeks, and put it back again would be enough to no, I will take it down. But them complaining about the exact same thing is like, yeah, no.
So, I mean, we had in one of the conversations, I was like, the reason you're getting so much attention for it is because of the game. And actually, it's a good picture. You know, your drawing is amazing, but you couldn't have drawn that without the picture to copy from. And
she said that the picture never did work for that game, so maybe they didn't even play it.
Oh, they don't play it. They don't play games. That's the thing.
So it was impossible for her to come up with the idea.
Exactly. But nobody asks that question. They just see it and go, "Wow, that's amazing." But yeah, it's so
so annoying. It's so.
And maybe I should check again just to see if it's back up. I did do a couple of other times. I thought, let's just see. But again, on Etsy, if you have multiple strikes, because that's why they were so angry about it, because they've now got a copyright strike. And if you get so many, your store gets shut down.
Yeah. So. I think... I forgot what I was saying. But I think that if they... I think that every time that I got posts pulled down, that I check them on them again to see if they try to repost a shot or other, even if they have me blocked. Instagram has a really cool function about blocking. You can block every profile that person creates.
All right. Okay.
So you have to be creative to check on that and go on incognito mode, and that's it.
Fair enough. Yep.
But yeah, I always check to see. The first time I actually went on Instagram for the first time when I created my VP account for on Instagram, it was because people were impersonating me. They were straight up using all my pictures on their profile. It was recent. I had been on the taking photos for like 6 months, and 6 months of worth of my work was in there. So
is that, I mean, I hope that's your story, because actually having an entire account cloned.
Oh no, it's not my story.
Oh well, you've got 10 minutes or so.
Okay, I have 2 stories really quick. 3, but one of them is really short. The first one is when the movie, the second movie from Spider-Man came out, the Tom Holland one came out. Insomniac added the suits from the movie into the game. So I took two photos for Wallpaper Wednesday. One it was a really simple, like from the front, Spidey looking at his hand, the idle animation, and one from the back on Central Park, and then I used the dual tone filter, so the background was pink instead of orange. That was it. My post it was my first post back then to hit 1K likes. So I was like, yeah. Then I see someone replying, oh, cool Spidey pictures, to another account, like later that date. And I went, and to this day, none of my posts did as many as 15K.
Yeah.
Both of my pictures were there. That account had 900 followers. Back then I had a couple thousand. And none of my pictures ever did that good. Ever.
That still burns, doesn't it?
It so much, because there was no description, nothing. Like, it was just straight up my 2 pictures. 15K.
It's weird how it happens, and 2, why even, what do they get out of it? Because all right, the number's impressive, but it's still gone again. And anyway. Actually,
I reached out to the person. They didn't even credit it. They apologized. They were very, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know.
Oh, there you go. So you give them a chance.
Yeah, it was like, yeah, I was very naive back then. Second one, it happened to both of us. So when we shared our first pictures of Ragnarok, we were lucky enough to have Santa Monica retweet both of our posts. And then on Instagram, I found out that someone actually used both of our pictures in one single post.
Yeah.
And I told you that.
Yeah.
I didn't reach out. Did you reach out to them?
I think I replied to it. I did the, oh, cool shots, where do you get them from? And they put, oh, I don't know, just Twitter somewhere. And then they replied again going, why are they yours? At which point they probably already got the copyright notification.
Okay, so we both give the copyright, fill out the copyright form. I got to take them down. That person, I don't think I've told you this, but that person actually emailed me on my personal email and not my .pon email.
Okay.
My personal one. How they got it, I have no clue. Probably Instagram notified them.
Is it on your YouTube?
No. That's the other thing. No, it's nowhere in the internet, my personal one. So probably Instagram notified them. Oh, this person with this email
maybe
took your shot down. And I'm like, that's super dangerous.
Yeah.
Like, what the heck, Instagram? But then we went back and forward. Like, they blocked me after that. And I don't think I ever replied to the email, but they blocked me.
Yeah.
And the email said something, please DM me all the posts that you think are yours, so I can take it down. And I'm like, you blocked me. How can I DM you? I checked my DMs. They unblocked me. They were going at it. And I basically said, all of your pictures are stolen from various artists.
That account was entirely God of War theft, wasn't it? Like,
I told them that. Oh, don't exaggerate. It's only yours. And I'm like, okay. Then I start going at it. I send them my links. Okay, remove this, please. And then I get one. Do you know Rude Boy from Twitter?
Yeah.
His watermark was like across the screen. And I said, you even stolen this, and the name is in there. You can possibly say you got this off Twitter and don't know the owner. It's in there. Oh, I made one mistake. It's not one. You made hundreds. Your entire account it's a big mistake. So yeah, the goal on that person.
Strange.
The other one that happened on that same week was someone watermarked my shot.
Oh, you told me about that one. They
put
their own watermark on your picture, yeah.
Yeah, and then I took a screenshot because I was blocked. So I took a screenshot and put it on my Insta stories and started the whole takedown. The post was taken down really quick, but people were already DMing that person to take down the picture, and he said, and I quote, "Oh, .pon Photoshop that post. That post was never on my." On my profile.
Wow.
Like, why?
I believe that
why?
You would.
Look, no, why would random account? Wow. I don't follow them. They don't follow me. Random account.
Yeah.
I will Photoshop.
I'm going to take you down today.
Why? The last one, and this one is like by the way, before you do it, that one is the perfect counter to do you need a watermark? Because not only did you not have one, but the copy had a different one, and you're still able to take it down. So there you go. The watermark does not count for anything. The last one. So someone tagged me on Sunday that another account was using my pictures. Okay, let's check on that. and they had 50 pictures of mine. Pictures going back years that I posted years ago. So they went on my Flickr. I checked, my Instagram was blocked. I checked, my Twitter was blocked. So they went on Flickr to get those pictures. That's the only explanation. And after I reached out to them, and after I started to the forum and I reached out to them and whatever, they said they are not the same pictures. They are similar because they are from the same game.
Yeah.
They are, and then I started to scroll, and they told me after going back, oh, I will delete the pictures because it clearly makes you mad that I have them on my page, not because they are stolen.
Yeah.
You will delete 50 pictures of your profile because some random person on the internet is mad about it. So you're basically admitting that the pictures are stolen. No. Okay, we go back and forward. He ends up deleting all the pictures. When we were discussing what topic we would, I just received a message from the WhatsApp conversation because that account was ran from 3 people, and
you had a WhatsApp conversation about it.
No. That account, that Instagram account that stole my pictures, was ran from for 3 people, and 2 of them were going against the guy that actually stole the pictures, saying like they sent me the screen grabs of that entire conversation, saying, "We are so sorry about this. Please know that this person is no longer in our team. We never knew that he was this lazy as to steal." So they were very genuine, but to have the courage they are not the same pictures. Side by side.
Yeah. What you've done there is make a good case for not bothering to have the conversation.
Why? You will just get yourself into a mood that you don't want.
Well, so that's why I would never have a long conversation about it. I tell them and give them a chance to immediately respond and say something apologetic or to rectify it, but my intention is that I'm going to have it pulled anyway. I would never carry on.
That's my I don't have enough self-control that after I start I shut up.
Yeah,
I don't have that sense. Yeah, I always. At one point I said to them, please, if you're doing this for social media clout, you need help. Go and have some help. Please leave me alone. Don't ever come in touch with my content again. It's
as well.
I have no idea why people do it. You. That's the conclusion for this episode. We don't know.
It is. So if you do it, get help. And if everybody's stealing your work, then look in the description, follow the links, get it reported, get it pulled. That's it.
Yep. That's it. That's this week's episode.
That's the episode. Who's doing it?
Ooh,
that's the
on the spot.
That's the
on the spot. Okay.
Next week is something special.
Oh yeah, next week
because you're not here.
Yeah, you already ruined it.
It's going to be a really good episode.
Yeah, next week I'm not here.
So, but there is an episode, so don't go missing it. You got to stay tuned because there will be.
It's the first episode that I'm not going to see it.
Yeah.
Beforehand.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. So, thanks for watching. Don't miss next week's. Bye.
Bye.